What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Chris M. Walker, and today I'm here with another legit client success story, and I'm here with Eric Umbra. And Eric, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thanks for having me, Chris. Basically, we have an SEO agency. We've been doing it since I would say about 2019. We deal with all kinds of clients, whether it's e-commerce, local, some of them are international. So all types of clients in all kinds of niches. And we have been using Legit pretty much almost from, I would say, maybe day one. um, for almost all our needs. So whether it's content writing, whether it's backlinks, um, all kinds of different backlinks like niche edits, guest posts, domain authority stacks, Google Drive backlinks, whatever we need, press releases. So essentially, yeah, Legit has pretty much been a pillar in terms of like scaling our agency. Because I mean, all these things, yeah, sure, you could do them yourself, but it's just too much of a hassle and the opportunity cost just doesn't make sense, right? So it's much better to outsource it. And yeah, so far everything's going well. Been using it for years and no complaints.
Awesome, we appreciate that. So you said it's a SEO agency you run. Do you do like organic, or do you do Google Maps, or what do you do?
Yeah, so we mostly do organic. With Google Maps, it's been a bit rougher around the edges. I mean, we can't find a clear, how to say, like, besides the actual name of the Google business profile, besides the proximity to the user's location, and maybe a couple things, like, for example, I have seen a bit of a correlation. Some people will kind of like disagree with me here, but I have definitely seen a correlation between the number of reviews and keywords inside reviews,
Yeah.
and higher rankings. But see, those three things are sometimes things that are outside of our control. So
Yeah.
it's been a bit rougher to figure out like a formula that consistently works in Google Maps.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. It's the same thing doesn't seem to work at two times in a row.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
regarding organic, we have kind of figured out a formula that we've been using for about 2, 3 years now. Obviously, like again, some clients are a bit different, but the base stays the same. Essentially, it's like blogging, backlinks, the type of backlinks we send and when we send them, depending on what stage the campaign is at. We do a lot of zero to heroes too. And honestly, those are, I know some people might again disagree with me here, but those are some of my favorite clients.
What do you mean by zero to hero?
Like clients that have zero organic traffic.
Oh, okay.
So we don't really like essentially like working with startups because those are, they're sort of like more, their cash flow is strained. And I would never recommend honestly SEO
I
for a
agree.
startup necessarily. But I love it, let's say, when a client has like he has income, he has a business, it's generating revenue, whether that's through social or it's through paid, I mean Google ads, organic, whatever. Uh, but I love it when they don't have any organic search traffic, because then it's like so much. First of all, I find it easier to get them wins
Yep.
in situations like that.
Yeah, because like little tweaks will make a huge difference at that point. Like just fixing the. A lot of times you'll find a site like that, and the home, like the title tab, will still say home or something,
Exactly, yeah.
and like
So
little
much easier.
stuff like that makes a big difference. So and that gets you a quick win, and then they like you a lot more.
Exactly. And I like the fact also that like you can just pretty much every time you open your search console in the future, whether it's like in 3 months, 6 months, you know that almost every click here is because of your efforts. Like
Yeah.
there's no other factor that came in and influenced this like these numbers here. So
Yeah, I agree. Well, also, when it's somebody that doesn't have anything, you don't have to undo what the last SEO screwed up.
correct. We actually had a client recently that was the case, and man, it was so bad. Like the agency would had like pretty much stuffed, like there was a meta description for one of their category pages. It's like an e-commerce jewelry store, and one of their category pages was literally just like the meta description was just keywords. Like the agency had just stuffed like 50 keywords. Like there was no sentence whatsoever. It was just a keyword comma, keyword, comma. And they were not even keywords that were relevant to that specific category page. So it was just like, what's going on here? And
Man.
they had used meta keywords as well, which
Oh,
is just
geez.
like, yeah, it was kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
um, yeah,
So we,
essentially,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, I was just gonna say like that is definitely the worst. Like when you come in and the client has already had an SEO agency in the past and they did a super bad job.
Yeah. Well, anytime, I don't know about you, but anytime I speak to a prospect, one of the most common things I get is I've worked with a bunch of agencies in the past and they didn't do, well, I won't use the bad word they usually use, but they didn't do
Yeah,
anything and I didn't get results. I got ripped off. I hear that almost every time I talk to someone. I'm sure you do too.
100%. And the first question I ask them when they tell me this is, how much were you paying?
Right.
And as soon as I hear a number below, I would say like maybe 800. Obviously, that's still low, but if
Yeah.
I hear anything less than 800, I'll tell them, I say, listen, most likely you were just paying for like on-page work,
Yeah.
especially if they were also like if they included blogs in that pricing. And I always explain to them that listen, like to rank, you need backlinks. Like if that's the way I see it, like
Right.
I know some people again will argue with me about this, but
Well, that's SEO.
yeah, like everybody in SEO has like a different opinion because it's like not an exact science. But for me, it's like you need backlinks. I've never been on a SERP where the guy had zero backlinks and it was ranking competitive SERP. I'm not
Right.
talking about very long tail keywords. Service-based businesses, they always have backlinks, whether it's even if it's a small amount, but they do. They have a certain amount of backlinks.
There's also a
And yeah,
common sense piece that customers, I think, could stand to use there too is like, how is somebody charging $800 a month going to make a living doing that? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they'd have to have zero cost and still have 50 clients to make a lucrative business at a,
correct.
you know what I mean? Because you can't pay yourself that way. A lot of young SEOs make the mistake with that too. They don't charge enough and don't leave enough to pay themselves. So
Exactly, because we actually used to make that mistake as well. We charge super cheap and we would be like, "Oh wow, this is great. Like this we're making a decent amount of money." But we would never factor in our hourly costs. Like we
right,
would pretend as if like we don't have an hourly rate. So when it's time to outsource it, the numbers just didn't make sense.
yep.
So nowadays when we price our packages, we just always like make assumptions like, okay, this task is going to take this many hours, and if I was outsourcing it, it would have costed me this much. So that's how I price it now, and it's much better that way for sure.
Okay, well, that actually was going to be my next question: is how do you factor in the pricing of the stuff that you outsource into your that and then
Yeah. So there's the retainer, and then there's media costs, we call them. So media costs are just another way to like say backlink budget or
right.
a content writing budget.
Okay. Yeah, because you don't want to
So
tell a client that it's backlinks. So
yeah, sometimes we do, depending on the client. Like some clients are a bit more, how to say, well versed
savvy.
with SEO, so they even ask. They say, okay, well, are you guys going to build me some backlinks? And that's when we mention it. So yeah, regarding pricing it in, it's fairly like I don't really make money on the backlinks.
Right.
So
You're just
um
passing that cost on.
exactly, like we don't really try to make money. I know that a lot of people do.
Right.
Um I just don't know if I don't want to also kind of create a conflict of interest with the client, if that makes any sense, where
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
does.
yeah, like essentially if he let's say tells me like, okay, you have a budget of I don't know, $500 or $700 per month just on backlinks. Now I'm not going to kind of try to make money because my goal still is to rank him.
Right.
So
Yeah, I get what you're
yeah,
saying. If like
yeah,
if you're making money off the backlinks, then you might be incentivized to do more than you need to.
exactly. Correct.
Right. And so you don't want to do that. That's cool. Any particular like vendors or freelancers that you like want to share with? Well, we'll share those in the description on this, and we'll use your affiliate link too, so you can get a little bit out of that.
Perfect. Yeah, so for guest posts, I use your service mostly.
Oh, stop.
Uh, for what's it called? For niche edits, at first we were using a lot of Wolf, and we were
Okay.
using there's another guy as well, Real Authority, I
Yeah.
think he's called.
Yeah.
And content writing, I actually haven't used much content writing recently, but when I was using it, I think I was using Keyword Ranker. if I'm not mistaken, he's
Okay. Yeah.
called.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think
He's
did
very good, very underpriced, in my opinion.
yeah, like it was so cheap. I was like, wow, okay, well, I gotta test this out. Um, what else? I've used PBNs from Saket.
Okay. He's going to be here on the channel next, I think it's next week, actually.
Nice. No, it was good. His PBN was good. And I like the fact I don't know if he still offers that specific service that I got. Because I know that he still offers like the links. And I actually recently bought some from him. But back in the day, he used to offer a service where you would pay him and he would build out a whole PBN for you. Like
Hmm.
he would buy the domain for you and he would build it out, and then he would just transfer you
Like the ownership.
the domain and the hosting. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
cool.
he still does that. That could be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if he does or not either. I'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, that was cool. And it worked a lot. It worked for the client that we were doing it with, because essentially we had a domain that had a homepage backlink to our client, and that was the only backlink that that domain had had. So I think that really makes an effect
Awesome.
pretty much.
Did you ever buy any like web design or anything like that?
Oh yes, actually recently I bought some web design, G Web Monster.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very good.
Yeah, he was very good.
Also, incredibly underpriced, in my opinion.
Yes, he is. He did all the revisions as well that we asked. He made a nice modern website. Actually, I think I bought two services from him. One was to like just build out a new website completely, and then the other one was to kind of revamp an existing website to make it more modern.
Okay.
He did both very good. I'm very happy with his services.
Awesome. That's good to hear. I like to point out that we do more than just SEO because that's kind of a, I guess, an obstacle I've had is that getting people to realize that Legiit is more than just SEO. So I wanted to see if there was anything beyond that. So,
Gotcha, yeah.
so what's your agency called? How can people check you out?
Optimized media. So it's just basically the word optimized, but with a U instead of the O.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Anything else you want to say or talk about before we wrap this up?
Um, I can't think of anything right now,
Cool.
but
Well,
probably I'll talk to you about it after.
well, I certainly appreciate all the business you've given us over the years. We do our best to make sure that our customers get taken care of, and I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I know we've been trying to set this up for a while, so I'm glad you were able to work that in.
No
And
worries, man.
I appreciate you taking the time. And if you want to get a hold of Arig, you can do that at the links in the description, which will also include his some of his favorite services. And stay tuned to the channel for more like this. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Perfect.